Come on, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Now, guys, I'm going to ask those of you who are not sitting down to please take your seats. I've been told that I have 2 minutes, and this is like speed dating. So don't fall in love. I'm going to be here very quickly. Since I only have 2 minutes, let me say I'm going to dispense with my greetings to Bob Borsage and Roger Hickey and this Take Back the American Dream Conference. It's fantastic. This is exactly the tonic we needed in Washington. We are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so the bottom line is progressives are on the move. We have a level of cohesion that we haven't had in a long time, and the momentum is building. So I'm going to dispense with that. I'm going to dispense with my shout out to Fair Elections Ohio. Those of you who have not seen the New York Times today, the lead story is about Republican-inspired voter suppression efforts to steal the election in 2012 by manipulating voter laws to ensure that progressives, African Americans, Latinos, young people, and the elderly and persons with disabilities don't vote. You take 10% of the vote from 5 states and the election is over. Fair Elections Ohio had a big victory last week. They stopped the dark shadow in its tracks, and let's give them some credit for having done that. They did a great job. All right. Now, it is my honor to introduce our next speaker this morning. A young man who has become such a strong and influential presence on the progressive stage that he, as one of our favorite cliches would acknowledge, virtually needs no introduction. Van Jones is part of a breakthrough generation of young American leaders who are changing the face of the nation. Van has already contributed much to the civil and human rights movement with his energy, his ideas, and his relentless pursuit of justice. Now, as many of you know, Van has founded or co-founded 3 of the nation's newest and most effective civil and human rights groups. The Ella Baker Center for Human Rights. All right, let's give it up for the Ella Baker Center. Color of Change, and Green for All. All right, Green for All. Van also served, far too briefly, as the Green Jobs Advisor for the Obama White House. And finally, I'm proud to say that in 2009, the Leadership Conference saw fit to honor Van with the Hubert H. Humphrey Civil and Human Rights Award for his dedication and visionary approach to social and economic justice. Now, Van's mind is continually working. So it was no surprise earlier this year when Van reached out to me, as he did to several others in this room, to share a new vision that he believed would galvanize discouraged progressives to stand up for the principles that have made our nation great. His idea was based in part on his study of the origins and rise of the Tea Party, which is only fitting, for as Sun Tzu, the great Chinese general, wrote in The Art of War, and I quote, "If you know your enemies and know yourself, you can win 100 battles without a single loss." So, all right. So now, we may not win all of the battles, but Van's collaboration to create, rebuild the dream, and the American Dream movement are helping to connect and energize people all over the country who know in their hearts and minds that collectively we can build a better future that will serve the many as opposed to the wealthy few. Now, and that's why we're all here today. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Van Jones to the podium. Van is helping to build an America as good as its ideals. Van!
First thing I do is break the rules. A big sign here says, please don't touch the microphone. First thing I do. Need some rule breakers every now and again. I think we may have a few in the room, do we? We got some rule breakers? Man, so beautiful to see everybody. Thank you, brother. Hey, look, first I just want to thank Wade Henderson. Give that man a round of applause. He is one of our true leaders. Not only does he lead the leadership conference so well, creating one of the true places where we have a real clearinghouse where all the different forces fighting for civil rights and human rights can stand together. Not only has he extended that to create the beautiful We Are One movement, which has gone even farther, bringing organized labor together with so many of the civil and human rights fights. He did not blink an eye when some of the newer forces came and said, we need your help. We think that there may be some ways to get some new energy going. He has a wingspan this big. He extended it to the next generation. Give him a round of applause. It doesn't happen enough. It does not happen enough in our movement. I also want to thank Bob Borisage. Bob Borisage was acting like it'd be easy to follow him. Did you guys hear his speech this morning? Bob Borisage put it down. If you missed it, go on YouTube. Bob Borisage put it down. I want to thank Bob Borisage and Roger Hickey, and also Jen Gonsalves, and the entire Campaign for America's Future staff. These folks, back when we were in the horrible, dark era of the Bush years, remember that? Yeah. Somebody started twitching. Created this conference, Take Back America, and brought us together during those difficult days. And as a result of the leadership that was shown then, when we had nothing in this town, the bad guys ran the White House, they ran the Senate, they ran the House, and they ran America into the ground. This Take Back America conference became the springboard by which we did just that, and we're going to do it again. So thank the Campaign for America's Future. And lastly, I just want to thank all of you. Man, this has been a tough couple of years. I mean, we can't get up here and lie and act like everything's been cool. We went from hope to heartbreak in about a minute. Once the opponents that we ran out of here realized they didn't have anything to do but run their mouths, run down this president, run down progressives. And we have been on a one-sided offensive in this country where the worst people in America with the worst ideas have dominated the discussion, and I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at the Tea Party. I'm not mad at them for being so loud. I'm mad at us for having been so quiet the past 2 years. That comes to an end. That comes to an end right now. Now they're not wrong to stand up for what they believe in, silly as it is. We've been wrong. We have the wrong theory of the presidency. Not the wrong theory of the president. Some people love the president, some people are mad at him. God bless you both. What are we going to do, though? What are we going to do about our country? We have the wrong theory of the presidency. We somehow thought that by electing a single person, an individual who was inspiring, kind of like Dr. King. We elected Dr. King and put him in the White House. And then we could just sit back and munch popcorn and watch him. It's gonna be good. Went from having a movement to a movie. As if the movement that we were a part of was based on a slogan called, "Yes, he can." I believe it was, "Yes, we can." So now the opportunity is to get back to the we. That's what's been missing. And I think we have to remember, LBJ did not lead the civil rights movement. He signed a bunch of laws we like, but he didn't get out there and lead that movement. That was people like us in this room. We have to remember that even FDR, as great as he was, didn't get out there, God bless him, in his wheelchair and lead the labor strikes and all of the labor movement that led to the New Deal. The labor movement, the great American labor movement, did that work. Abraham Lincoln didn't lead the abolitionists. I understand there was somebody named Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman who got out there and led that struggle and got him to do the right thing. And just so nobody thinks I'm just, talking about one party, even Nixon. See how much I've grown? I could even talk bipartisan. Even Nixon, famously, didn't get out there and lead the environmental movement, but he signed the EPA, the Clean Air Act, and the Clean Water Act. Why? Because there was a movement out there that made him do it. You can have a crappy president. If you got a strong movement, you can get the job done. It's time for us to have a strong movement again. It's time for us to have a strong movement. Now, let me tell you something. This conference is taking place at a moment we're going to remember for a long time. We've been depressed. Ask me how I know. We've been distressed. And yet, some people say, well, I'm never going to hope again. I'm never going to get all hopeful. Had too much experience now. I know better. And we went from hopey to mopey and forgot to build a movement in the middle. So let me tell you something. Those of us in this room, we have too much experience not to believe in the power of the people. We have too much experience not to believe in the beauty and the wisdom and the genius of the American people. Yeah, you can get knocked down. That happens in politics. Ask me how I know. But it's not how many times you get knocked down. It's how many times you get back up and how much smarter you are when you stand back up. And we're standing back up now in this country. I want to show you some of the research I did and explain to you why you're here. But before I do that, something just came across a newswire. And it's an extraordinary thing. We know we have the young folks and the struggling folks who are down there on Wall Street. Give them a round of applause. They went down there to the scene of the crime against our future. They went down there. And they have been camping in the rain. They've been beaten. They've been pepper sprayed. They've been falsely arrested. And they have never once broken a discipline. And when the police were dragging them away, they said, we're out here, the 99%. We're fighting the 1%. You, officer, are part of the 99%. We're fighting for your pensions, too. We're fighting for your pensions, too. This is a new movement. And because of their courage and the character that they showed, today it was announced that in their dress blues, Marines are going to protect them and stand with them in their dress blues. The Marines, the veterans. This is a movement moment. This is a movement moment. Something's happening in America. Something's happening in America. Don't you give up on this country. Don't you give up on this movement. This is your movement. They're going to stand out there. They're going to stand out there with those young people in their dress uniforms. And one of them had a sign. And the sign said, "This is the second time I fought for my country." And it's the, no. Wait. Don't be happy yet. It's the second time I fought for my country. It's the first time I've known who my enemy was. Now that is a movement moment. That is a movement moment. Something is happening. Something is happening. Something is happening. Now, this is where we are. Now, you built this. Don't you be surprised. Look at you, shocked. What? No, this is your movement. And people you don't know have more faith in it than you do. I'm going to offend somebody, but I'm going to have to tell the truth before I give you my PowerPoint. Y'all mind? Can I tell the truth about something? Look, the movement for hope and change, the movement for hope and change was not invented nor created by Barack Obama. He would tell you that. But we erase our own history. You know why? Low self-esteem. Ask me out. Low self-esteem. This is your movement that you built with your own hands. Some of you can go far back. I can go back at least all the way to 2003 when Bush launched his illegitimate, unjust war on the Iraqi people. I remember that. And I also remember you. I remember you. We didn't have one great leader. There was no Messiah. There was no single superhero. All we had was each other. The people right here in this room. The people you can get a hold of in your BlackBerry, your smartphone right now. But we put millions of people in the streets, and the New York Times said that we were the second superpower. The only thing that could challenge George Bush was us. That was a movement that we built using technology. We had this amazing new technology called email. Remember that? And MoveOn.org and all the great groups. And then in 2003, we were defeated. They invaded that country anyway. We could have quit then, but you didn't. We went right over 2004 and built a massive movement to try to get Bush out the White House. And we had a good candidate in John Kerry, but he wasn't a Messiah. We didn't have a superhero. We had a super movement. And we came within 100,000 votes in Ohio of getting rid of George Bush back in 2004. That's how strong your movement was even then. 2005, what happened? We could have quit. Some people said, this is just terrible. America is full of just stupid people. And I'm moving to Canada. Like they want you in Canada. Why do people say stuff like that? But we had a bad weekend, and then we got to work. 2005, you started innovating. And look at everything we created in 2005. Something called the blogosphere was created. Huffington Post was born in 2005. The Apollo Alliance, which Bob Borisage helped to create and put green jobs on the map, 2005. A man named George Lakoff came out and said, would you please stop talking ignorant? That was 2005. You look back at the big immigration marches that began to happen. You look back at the heartbreak of Katrina. You look back at Color of Change being formed. You look back at the Democracy Alliance being formed. You look back at tremendous innovation in the wake of a defeat. No Messiah. No one leader. No superhero. You determined that your country would not go down the drain. You determined that mean people and dumb people not ruin the country you live in. That was you in 2003 and 2004, 2005. So by 2006, we had this tremendous breakthrough. And we were able to humiliate Karl Rove. Karl Rove said 2004, the Republicans are going to run America for 40 years. We held them to 24 months because of you. Give yourself a round of applause for what you did. This is your movement. And in that environment you created, we were so blessed that a young senator was willing to take a stand and to see that what you had built was going to be bigger than the Democratic Party, bigger than the Republican Party, bigger than the Clinton brand, bigger than the McCain brand. You built this beautiful movement, and the man and the movement and the moment met, and we inspired the world. But as inspiring as then Senator Obama was, and now President Obama can be, you inspired him first. You inspired him first. That's the power of this movement. And it was only when we sat down that things went back to where they were. Now it's time for us to stand back up. So let me show you something. Let me show you my slide. Now look, y'all know I worked in the White House for 6 months, best 6 months of my life, followed by the worst 2 weeks, okay? After that, I took some time off. I taught at Princeton, and I got a chance to really think for the first time, and not having to run an organization. Some of y'all might want to try this. Not having to run an organization or a campaign or anything like that, I was able to really think, and I thought about what happened to our movement. And I read about it, and I read about the Tea Party, and I discovered something I want to share with you, and that's the basis of why you're here. I think we can take this whole thing back and do it bigger and better than we did 2008. That's my promise to you. We can take this whole thing back and do it bigger and better with more resilience than 2008. Now, what we do the first time. Now, you know how our movements have been. We call these silos. Everybody in their own little causes and camps. Now, look, I didn't include everybody. If I had a longer slide, I would have. Don't come up to me. What about I know it's just a representative slice of our movement. But we were all divided from each other. Then along came, under the right conditions, Obama. And he created what I call a meta brand. Obama didn't just mean cute black guy from Chicago trying to be president in 2008. Obama meant something bigger. It was a brand. It meant hope and aspirations and all the good stuff. And when that meta brand hit, and it was a patriotic meta brand, he said, we don't have any red states, no blue states, we're the United States. And he talked about e pluribus unum. He brought patriotism back to our cause. And so here's what we all did. Now look, this special effect cost me $200. So y'all better appreciate this. All right, now here we go back. So he was amazing, say positive things about Obama. And then when he put that meta brand up there, we all affiliated to him. Remember that? Thank you. Maybe you missed it. I'll do it one more time. It cost me enough money. So, okay, so remember, all divided. Here comes Obama. And then, remember this, 2008, we all affiliated to him. Yeah. Remember how good that felt? I call it a meta brand because you didn't have to give up anything you had before to affiliate. You got to keep your labor jacket on, but you can still put on that Obama baseball cap. You didn't have to quit your lesbian and gay rights group to join. You could keep everything you ever had. But you put on that Obama, and now you're part of something massive. You still get to be you, but now you're part of something huge. And as you're driving down the highway, you can see other people, and they have the same little thing, and you can honk the horn at them. Remember that? And the whole time you thought, I'm by myself. Nobody loves me. And then you realize there are millions of us. Yeah. Remember how that felt? Well, that was a part of what happened. But we made a mistake. We thought that was just about one person. But guess what? Our opponents, they have their own organizations. They have their own causes. I didn't list them all. I didn't list them all, but you get the basic idea. And they came up with a meta brand. Their meta brand was what? The Tea Party. Now let me tell you something about the Tea Party. I've studied them. For a while, I could say I read every book by, about, and against the Tea Party. I'm going to tell you something about the Tea Party. There is no Tea Party. There is no Tea Party. You can't land at the airport here in D.C. and get in the cab and say, take me to Tea Party headquarters. And get out, buzz on the buzzer, right? Go in and talk to the receptionist, steal a mint, and say, I'd like to speak to the president of the Tea Party. There is no headquarters. There is no headquarters. There is no receptionist. There is no mint. There is no president. There is no Tea Party. The Tea Party is an open source brand that 3,528 affiliates use, none of them own. They went to all these groups. Most of these groups pre-existed, just like your groups do. Most of these groups pre-existed the Tea Party. Some of them go all the way back to the Ross Perot days. Ain't nothing new about Tea Party. But they said to them, we studied the Obama phenomenon. We studied the civil rights movement. And we know how to do this now. We're going to steal their technology. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell you, keep your name. Keep your website. Keep everything you ever had. Just put behind your name a comma, Tea Party affiliate. And then we're all going to move at the same time. We're all going to affiliate at the same time. And boom, the whole world's going to have to pay attention. But this is an upgrade over what we did, and let me show you why. They branded not a person, but a network. They didn't brand an individual. They branded a network. And they didn't base it on a single party. They based it on principles. In other words, they built a starfish and not a spider. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. The rest of you use a search engine. This is an upgrade. This is an upgrade. We have to go back and reclaim our commitment to being the most innovative and cutting-edge movement in the country. That's how we got here. It's time for us to innovate again and steal this technology. How do we do it? Very simple. When our guy got to become head of state, now this one only cost $50, but it's still worth looking at. When our guy got to become head of state, he got promoted. Good for him. Oh, you know, that's good. That's good. But here we are. And it's worse than before. Because it's one thing not to have a house. It's something else to have a mansion, like we had in 2008, and then not have a house. To have been together, and now to be apart. Meanwhile, our opponents were apart, now they're together. That sucks, man. Do y'all like that? No. Do you like how it feels? No. Well, then I think it's time for us to do something about it. It's time for us to do something about it. Quit just blogging about it, right? I blog too, but you know, it feels real good. And not only do I blog, now my poor family suffers, because I tweet. My thumbs be so tired, complaining. We can blog and tweet, but what if we actually did something? What if we actually acted on what we know? What if we went back to being the kind of movement we were before we had the great victory? Well, first of all, we would need to have some principle. And I want to suggest something that at first might strike you as odd. But I think the principle, Obama founded his movement on a patriotic principle of e pluribus unum, no red states, no blue states. We're all in this together. And it worked. The Tea Party founded theirs on a patriotic principle of liberty. All right. That's what they say they're about, liberty. Notice, not liberty and justice for all. We'll get back to that. But liberty, and that worked. Well, I think it's time for us to remember that the other side is not the only people who have a monopoly on loving this country. In fact, the people who love this country and everybody in it are deeper patriots than they could ever hope to be. They're not the patriots. They're not the patriots. So what if we had a principle? You need to be patriotic. You need to be portable. You can't just have a principle that you like in Berkeley. I can talk about, I'm from the Bay Area, so I can say, you can't just have a principle that'll work in Berkeley and say you're going to lead a national movement. It's got to be portable. You got to be able to take this principle into red states. You got to be able to go into the laundromat somewhere in a red state and start talking to people and have people understand exactly who you are and what you mean. It's got to be positive. So I don't want to be positive anymore. I'm so outraged, I just don't know what to do. I'll never be aspirational again. Call your grandmother. Get some perspective. American progressive movements have been through tougher times than this, and we never surrendered our principles. We never surrendered our aspirations. We never surrendered. You think it was easy in the Great Depression to keep striving to make this country great? Do you think it was easy for Dr. King and the suffragettes? We've had, I'm sorry, they got some pepper spray. I haven't seen no lynching ropes and dogs yet. I think we've had harder times than this. And tougher enemies. And tougher enemies. And we never surrendered our principles. So it's got to be patriotic. It's got to be portable. And it's got to be positive. Well, there is a principle like that. Dr. King talked about it. He said, first thing he said, where's Jay Amani? That's my brother right there. I love you, brother. Jay and I used to watch these speeches when we were young. He said, first thing he said, I have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. That's the first thing he said. He wasn't talking about consumerism. He wasn't talking about commercialism or individualism. He wasn't talking about what the commercializers did to the American dream. He wasn't talking about the American fantasy, that everybody's going to be rich. You just buy a bunch of things and you're going to be happy. Just get a big enough flat screen TV and you can cover up the holes in your life. No, that's the American fantasy, which has led to an American nightmare. We're opposed to that. We're opposed to that. That wasn't what Dr. King was talking about. No. He was talking about something much deeper and much more fundamental. He was talking about the idea that we're all supposed to count. And we're all supposed to matter. And in this one little country, no matter what your color or your race or your religion or your sexuality, your gender, you're supposed to be able to work hard and get somewhere. You're supposed to be able to have the dignity of work and opportunities so you can look at those children in your household and know that they might, if they work hard too, get farther than you did. That's supposed to be who we are, and that promise brought people from all around the world. And those of us whose families didn't choose to come here, we chose to stay to make good on that promise. It shouldn't be thrown under the bus just so corporations don't have to pay their taxes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It shouldn't be thrown away. It shouldn't be killed off so rich folk don't have to pay their taxes. So we said, why don't we have an American dream movement, a movement to restore the American dream, to bring all these different causes together, All of us are struggling. No matter what your cause is, your base, your constituents don't have jobs. They're scared of losing their homes, and they're going to fight. The only question is, are we going to fight together, or are we going to keep fighting alone? That's the only question. And so we say, if you want it, if you're willing to take it and grab it, we offer it up. Let's build a movement to take back the American dream. Let that be the common banner under which we stand. See, let that be where those young veterans who are coming home to nothing. As long as they're overseas, we'll spend any amount of money because Halliburton can get a cut. Then we'll spend any amount of money. But then we dump them off at the airport with no jobs, no hope, 17 suicide attempts a day, and nobody said a word about it. Let them be able to stand under a banner that says, we're going to defend and take back the American dream. Let the young people who are graduating off a cliff every spring into no jobs, praying to get an unpaid internship for 2 years, let them be able to stand under a common banner and say, I want to fight to make sure that I get a chance to have my American dreams come true. Let our everyday heroes, the cops, the teachers, the firefighters, the nurses, the postal workers, the librarians, the backbone of our community, who these Republicans want to throw under the bus, let them be able to stand under a banner that says, no, these are everyday heroes, taught to respect them as children. We're not going to abandon them. They never abandoned us. Let them be able to stand under a common banner. Let those who've been foreclosed on, let these banks that we saved, these banks that we bailed out, these bankers who would be homeless themselves if we hadn't stood up for them and stood with them. And now these banksters won't even return the phone call of a mother who's just trying to renegotiate a mortgage, or a child with $100,000 of student loan debt and can't find a job. They won't even return their phone calls. Don't let them fight by themselves. Let them stand under a common banner. Let these so-called 99ers, the long-term unemployed, 45, 55-year-old, often white men, who expected to be in the pride years of their working lives, who are now not able to teach the young workers a trade and feel that pride, but have to sit on the couch every day with all this work that needs to be done. Let them stand with us. Let the farmers who are having their land torn away from them by these same banksters, let us all stand together now under a common banner. Let's do that. It's already begun. We reached out this summer to 70 organizations, MoveOn.org and Planned Parenthood and so many groups, Center for Community Change, Campaign for America's Future. I can just go down all the groups. And they said, you're right, it's time. And we, in June, launched something, just as an experiment. Built a little platform called rebuildthedream.com. And we launched something. And let me tell you what happened. When the Tea Party started, they had 800 house meetings across America to launch their movement. We started, we didn't have 800. We had 1,597, 3 shy of double. Just to start, we started almost twice as big. Media didn't say a word about it. Tea Party engaged 50,000 people to create their agenda. 50,000, everybody was shocked. 50,000 people created the contract from America for the Tea Party. Oh my God. We didn't have 50,000. With no Fox TV, with no Koch brothers, just with people in this room, netroots organizing, grassroots organizing. We didn't have 50,000. We had 131,203, almost triple the Tea Party when we started. Something's happening in America. 70 organizations. We didn't accept the lie that progressives don't know how to work together. We didn't accept the slander that we don't know how to work together. So now what's next? Why are we here? We're here because when you have something with no media attention and no real money that launches and 600,000 people sign up in every congressional district, which is what happened, real change is possible. We've been seeing what happens not when we fight hard and they fight hard and we just get beat. We haven't even stood up yet. In August, we beat the Tea Party. When I say we, know who I'm talking about. Groups like SEIU, groups like many of the labor organizations who were here. We said, look, let's have a shock in August. Shock in August. And I'm clever, huh? And in August, we beat the Tea Party 10-1. There were 10 times more protests by progressives in August than the Tea Party. You want to ask the question, why is the White House talking different? The White House is talking different because we are walking different. We are walking different. We learned something. We learned something. No. So now we have the opportunity. When I say we, I mean we. I don't mean me. The great thing I learned from the Tea Party as I move to my close, they're very, very adult about charisma and leadership. You've got to give them credit for this. Who was the one leader of the Tea Party? Right? Who was the one leader? They used to have Sarah Palin. She was the queen of the Tea Party. She fell down the stairway of public opinion. Tea Party strong as ever. They used to have my good friend Glenn Beck on TV. Remember him? Haven't heard much from Glenn Beck recently. Doesn't even have a show. Right? But the Tea Party's as strong as ever. In fact, if Michelle Bachmann, Sarah Palin, Glenn Beck, and Dick Armey, all of them came here today and said the Tea Party is over, it wouldn't be over. Because they use their charismatic leaders to build something bigger than any leader. This is our opportunity. The other thing about the Tea Party is they talk rugged individualism, but they act collectively. They talk rugged individualism. You got a problem? Well, you better solve it yourself. You don't need the government. Just be more rugged and more individual. That's how they talk. But they have enacted the most collectivist strategy for taking power in the history of the Republic. 3,528 groups sharing a brand nobody owns. 50,000 people cooperating on a wiki to come up with the agenda that nobody wrote. They talk individual and act collectively, and we do I have to say it? Talk collective. We talk kumbaya. We talk we're all in this together. We talk solidarity forever. But we have enacted the most individualistic strategy in the Republic. Me, myself, my group, my cause, my brand, my thing. And why she got that grant? Why did she get that grant? Huh? Now, if we can just be as warm and sharing and kind as the Tea Party, which one might suspect is a relatively low bar, we might be able to do something for our country. That's the invitation to you. That's the invitation to you. Now, so I have the distinct honor do something it's just hit me what was about to happen. We're about to bring up 5 leaders. Oh, I'm sorry. 25 leaders to take this stage and to declare publicly that we're going to be a part of one movement. Some couldn't come, and some are in the audience who won't be able to get up here. But it's our turn now. It's our turn now. We let the warmongers have a turn for 8 years, and they ruined this country. Ruined this country. We're still spending $3 billion a week overseas on these wars. And what if we had $3 billion just for Detroit? What if we had $3 billion just for New Orleans? What if we had $3 billion just for Appalachia? Just 1 week's worth. Just 1 week's worth. Imagine what we could do. We let the warmongers have their turn, and they ruined America. And we stood up, and then we sat back and let the Washington D.C. crowd do the best they could without us. Well, help is on the way. Help is on the way. People say I'm corny. Just give me 3 minutes. You guys get your ceremony together. I just want to take 3 minutes, because after this, I'm not the sole voice of this thing anymore. And I just want to tell you, it's been a tough road for me. I came to this town with high hopes, just like many of you. I stepped on some rakes and left brokenhearted. But you have to ask yourself a question as a person, as a father, and as a movement. What happens when you have a big dream and it gets crushed? What happens when you have a big dream and it gets destroyed? What happens when you have a big dream and somebody smashes it to bits? Do you just lay there forever? Or do you get back up with a bigger dream? Do you get back up with a bigger dream? So we're back now with an even bigger dream. They should have left us alone. They should have left us alone. They should have let us have our little public option. We'd have gone on home. They should have left us alone. They done messed up now. They done messed up now. Because we're coming back with a bigger dream, more unity, wiser, smarter, stronger, braver, cuter graphics. Man, we bad. I want you to welcome to the stage the leadership of the American Dream Movement. On your feet. On your feet. Come on. It's not a one-man show. It's not a one-man show. We got a movement. We got a movement. We got a movement now. We got a movement. And the more they can't get up here, the more they can't get up here. They should have left us alone. They should have left us alone. Hey. Let the word go forth. They got unity on Wall Street. They got unity in 50-some cities. And we got unity right here in this room. Where's Billy? Where's Billy? Now, hey, Billy. Oh, good.
How we doing? Everybody hear me? My name is Victor Sanchez. I'm the president of the United States Student Association, representing over 4 million students nationwide. And everybody tells us that we're the future, but I'm here to tell you we're also the present, and we're committed to building this new American dream movement.
Good afternoon. My name is Sarita Gupta. I'm with Jobs with Justice, representing over 47 labor community coalitions in 26 states. And through our Caring Across Generations campaign, we are building the American Dream movement.
My name is Christina Hollenbeck. I'm the executive director of the Generational Alliance. We're an alliance of over 16 national youth organizations that work with underrepresented communities, low-income youth, youth of color, LGBTQ youth. And together, we are taking back the American dream.
My name is Biko Baker. I'm the executive director of the League of Young Voters and League of Young Voters Education Fund. And with more young people and people of color, we can win with this American Dream movement.
I'm Jakada Imani. I'm the executive director of the Ella Baker Center for Human Rights. And a leader in the American Dream movement.
I'm Darlene Nipper with the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force. We are the oldest organization building the power, taking action, and creating change for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people, and we are a part of the American Dream movement.
I'm Tracy Van Slyke. I'm the co-director of the New Bottom Line. Well, thank you. We are representing 1,000 grassroots and faith-based organizations all over the country, fighting for an economy that works for all of us, and we are allies of the American Dream movement.
My name's Gabe Gonzalez. I'm the campaign director at the Center for Community Change, and we are committed, we are ready, and with you, we will rebuild the American Dream movement.
My name is Betsy Theobald Richards, and I'm with the Opportunity Agenda. We represent thousands of activists, artists, and cultural organizers who are helping to shape the American Dream movement.
I'm Marianne Manilov with the Engage Network, and we are proud to be co-creating long-term local engagement networks around the American Dream, and we are proud to be building the American Dream movement.
I'm Carlos Sodio with the New Organizing Institute and Candidate Project. We're working with partners to recruit more than 2,000 progressives to run for local office right now, this year, and together we're building a generation of candidates in the American Dream movement.
Amazing. I'm Courtney Height. I'm co-director of the Energy Action Coalition. As the hub of the youth climate movement, we are creating a power shift, and we are the American Dream movement.
I'm Ellen Buckman, VP for Field Operations for the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights, the country's biggest, baddest, and oldest civil and human rights coalition, and we are the American Dream movement.
Hello out there. My name is Barbara Jackson. I am with AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. Proud to represent over 600,000 federal workers across this country. And let me tell you, we are proud to be a part of the American Dream movement.
I'm Sarah Hodgson with the Sierra Club. We have 1.4 million grassroots activists who believe we need progress, not pollution. And that's why we're part of the American Dream movement.
Hi, my name is Eduardo Garcia. I'm with Campus Progress, and we work with young people across the country to win on the issues that can build the American Dream movement.
I'm Crystal Platty, Executive Director of Progressive Majority. We run, train, and coach thousands of progressives to run for office at every level of government. We are all proud to be a part of the American Dream movement.
Hi there, I'm Marge Baker with People for the American Way, representing hundreds of thousands of activists across the country dedicated to fighting the radical right and the corporate right. We are working every day to confirm federal judges who have a deep and abiding respect for the entire Constitution. And we are proud partners in the American Dream movement.
I am Charles Young, representing the Hip Hop Caucus. We represent over 700,000 young people, celebrities, artists across the country who all believe and all thrive towards having safer and better communities. And we just want you to know that we are leaders in the American Dream movement.
I'm Arlene Holt-Baker, and I am the Executive Vice President of the AFL-CIO, the 12.5 million members. And we fight every day for America to keep its promise to workers in all of our communities, and we are proud to be a part of the American Dream movement.
My name is Paco Fabian, and I'm here representing the Change to Win Labor Federation. Our 5.5 million members know one thing. We need good jobs to restore the greatest invention of this country, that's a vast middle class. And they're ready to be leaders of the American Dream movement.
My name's Arshad Hassan. I'm the Executive Director of Democracy for America. And with over a million members, we were happy to bring the fight to Wisconsin. We're proud to bring the fight to Ohio. And we will bring the fight in all 50 states to defend the American dream.
Hi, I'm Aniello Alioto with ProgressNow.org on behalf of our staff in about 12.5 states and our over 2.4 million members. We are proud, we are humbled, and we are invigorated to be a part of the American Dream movement.
I'm Ross Wallen, and I'm here on behalf of U.S. Action's 22 state affiliates and 390,000 members. Our message, create good jobs, cut wasteful Pentagon spending, and together we will build the American Dream movement.
I'm Alberta Gaskins. I'm a member of the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare. With 3 million supporters and the vast amount of Americans who say, hands off, no cuts, support Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And I believe in the American Dream movement.
How y'all doing? I'm Raven Brooks. I'm with Netroots Nation, and each year we connect and gather thousands of leaders in the American Dream movement.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nalini Stamp, and I'm with the Working Families Party, the feistiest political party around. We're fighting for good jobs, good schools, and good government, and we will hold elected officials accountable to the American Dream movement.
My name is Natalie Foster. I'm the CEO of Rebuild the Dream, and we want to be an action center for you, the American Dream movement.
Hi, my name is Benita Williams, and I'm a cleaner here in Washington, D.C. I'm one of 2 million members of SEIU who's organizing and bargaining for the American Dream Fund.
Hi, my name is Ilya Shaman. I'm running for Congress in Illinois' 10th District to rebuild the middle class and fight for you as part of the American Dream movement.
My name is Darcy Berner. I'm the Executive Director of ProgressiveCongress.org. I work with progressive members of the United States House of Representatives and Senate so that they can be leaders in the American Dream movement.
My name is Judith LeBlanc. I'm the Field Director for Peace Action, 100,000 strong, and we're working to move the money from wars and weapons back to our communities. Happy to be a part of the American Dream movement.
I'm Ramona Oliver, and I'm with MoveOn.org. And on behalf of our 5.5 million members across the country, we want to say how proud we are to help power the American Dream movement.
My name is Roger Hickey. I'm co-director of the Campaign for America's Future. Woo! We believe ideas have power, but people have even more power. We are proud to be foot soldiers in the American Dream movement. Billy.
That's good. I want you to take your seat. because we have one more leader you haven't heard from yet, but I want you to take your seat. Give one more round of applause. You guys stay here. One more round of applause for these incredible leaders and all the rest of them. This is history. This is a historic day. This is a historic day. It's a big deal. I left out the other word. You can't have something this powerful and seal it off with just talk. So we're going to bring one more leader to the stage who's going to lift our spirits and seal this in the only way it can be sealed. Welcome to the stage, Maimouna Youssef.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this invitation here tonight. And thank you for your wonderful, wonderful, inspiring words. I'm from a generation who has long decided it's not really worth it to believe in the American dream. And I sat here today so inspired and overwhelmed, almost to the point of tears, to see so many people from so many different backgrounds so united. And it didn't really make a difference if everyone agreed on every single detail, but together we know what we need. And I want to applaud everyone here today for making that commitment to tolerate each other and to love each other for the greater good of your country, of our country. So I want to say thank you to all the leaders here, and thank you for everyone in the audience. And so in turn, I would like to offer something to you all who have so much faith and so much courage. You are the one who feels the fear and keeps on fighting. You have the strength and the courage of a lion. When everyone says, no, not I, you raise your hand so high. You have the most beautiful heart inside. Beautiful heart inside. Beautiful heart inside. And I've got to thank you, 'cause you believed, saw the best in me, looked past my inadequacies, show me who I didn't know I could be. Thank you, you set us free. From the road we were headed down, you turned this world around. See, you are the one who didn't mind the grunt, head aching frustration that comes with trying to change lives, redirect the hurt inside. Never knowing if you helped or just wasted your time. Well, I can't speak for them, don't know how much they received, but when it comes to me, let me tell you what you achieved. And I gotta thank you, 'cause you believe, saw the best in we, looked past our inadequacies, show me who I didn't know I could be. Thank you, you set us free. Now our feet are on solid ground and we're freedom bound. Said, I know it got to get tough, but don't you ever give up. Said the struggle gets tough, but don't you never, 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 never give up. Said loving can get tough, but don't you give up. Said the struggle gets tough, don't you ever, never, 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 never give up. 'Cause we are the ones we've been waiting for. Wait no more.
Somebody's supposed to come up here. I'm through. Y'all amazing. Okay, sorry. Okay. Give her another round of applause. So I'm gonna bring to the stage as they exit these great leaders representing so many people who've been waiting for this turning point. You knew it was coming, didn't you? You knew we couldn't just be this stupid, we couldn't just stay stuck on stupid forever, right? You knew that at some point, right, it was gonna turn. And it's turning today. It's turning on Wall Street, it's turning around the country, it's turned in this room, it's turning in hearts all around America. It's turning. The tide is turning. And we want to take you now into lunch, and you have some instruction, some work to do even as you eat and talk. Your mind is fired up, you're thinking about a million things, and we're going to have some instruction for this lunch from Ramona. Give her a round of applause. She is the quiet force behind this whole thing.
No problem.
How many of y'all are the people who are behind the scenes making everything work? Raise your hand. Don't be ashamed. You're ashamed to raise. How many of you are the behind the scenes forces out here? The people who really make it work. Give her a round of applause. Give this woman a round of applause. One of our great labor leaders and organizers, also huge civil rights background, also working through MoveOn.org, also new mom, little baby. Ramona, take us away.
Thank you, Van. So, are we inspired? Are we ready to get to work? All right. Then, when you go off to lunch, here is what we need you to do. Now is the time to step up and own this movement, the American Dream movement, to have a discussion about how do we build a bigger, badder American Dream movement. How do we take this to every corner of the country and make it embrace everybody who needs it so desperately? So when you go away to lunch, I want you to talk about this, get your lunch, come back to your tables, sit with your friends, sit with strangers, make some new friends, and talk about how do we make this American Dream movement bigger and badder. And then I want you to tweet your answer. Yes. And if you don't tweet, then there's got to be somebody within 2 people of you who tweets. Give them the answer. And have them tweet it and put the Take Back the American Dream Conference Twitter hashtag on that answer. So it's TakeBack11. So you're going to discuss how we make this bigger and better, and then you're going to tweet your answers, put that hashtag on there so all the folks from the conference can see it and we can share it with everybody and the world. And I want to thank you, Van. And let's make this the biggest, baddest thing anybody has seen in the Republic.
That's good. All right. One question you may have in your mind as you go now to answer this question: what is the role of Rebuild the Dream, and what is the role of the American Dream movement? Let me clarify this, because there's been some confusion. Please, and somebody will later they'll miss it because they were tweeting too fast. Rebuild the Dream is just a support center for the American Dream movement. RebuildTheDream.com, just the way that Freedom Works, is a support center for the Tea Party, but nobody owns the Tea Party. Just as Americans for Prosperity is a support center for the Tea Party, but nobody owns the Tea Party, and Liberty Labs, et cetera. RebuildTheDream.com, we are just a support center for your movement. Our job is to help you own this movement. If we leave here and you are not owning this movement, and you are not thinking this is my movement, we've not done our job. RebuildTheDream.com is a support center for you. I'm proud to be president of that support center, but movements don't have presidents. Movements have principles, movements have fighters, movements have momentum, and we have finally got our momentum back. Now let's get some lunch. Thank you very much.